Hi, I'm Mary Rogers, and this is the Cuisinart Prep 9 9-cup food processor. Has a nice shaped body. It takes up very little counter space, but it's still a workhorse in the kitchen. This one has a metal finish, and everything that comes in contact with your food is BPA free. Now let's look at some of the features and functions. First, we have the removable wide mouth feed tube. You'll notice it's very large, and this allows you to fit large pieces of food in the feed tube for slicing and shredding. And you could fit a whole potato, tomato, lemon, anything that you're going to be doing slicing and shredding. Now the other nice thing too is that it also comes with this removable small pusher. This allows you to add liquids while your machine is running. Or the other nice thing I always like to point out is in the bottom here, you'll notice there's some ribs and there's a little hole, and that hole allows you to add liquid into here, and then it's slowly incorporated into whatever you're mixing. So if you're going to do something like maybe a bread dough or maybe pesto, where you're going to be adding oil to the pesto, it'll go in very slowly and you'll get a really nice finished dish. The other thing that I like to mention about this food processor is I mentioned it's 9 cups, which is a really generous size. So you're able to use it for anything that you're going to do for just a few people, or even when you're entertaining. It takes up very little space on your counter. I always like to tell people that, believe it or not, it takes up less than an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. So let's look at the front of the unit. Happens to have an induction motor inside, touchpad controls. Here you have on, pulse, and pulse goes on only when you're holding your finger down. And then if it's running and you want to turn it off, you press the off button. It's really simple and easy to use. Notice that it's very streamlined. The touch pads make it really easy to keep it clean. If you happen to be a little messy in the kitchen, get spills on there. The other thing that's really nice too is it comes with lots of accessories. So if you're going to be doing anything like slicing and shredding, here's your discs. This is your slicing disc. It's made out of heavy-duty construction. Here it has weights which keep it perfectly balanced. How you operate the discs are that you use your stem adapter. You line up the two arrows, you twist this, that locks it into place. And what you do then is you turn it upright, and you actually can match the icon on the top with the shape of the stem in the bottom, and you slide it right in place. And then you would put your lid back on and you can start to slice and shred. You operate your medium shredding disc in exactly the same manner. Turn it over, put on your stem adapter, and then put it in the machine. To remove the stem adapter, it's really easy. You just pull up and twist and remove it. One of the things I like to tell people when they get started using the food processors, always hold these by the outer rim and always put the stem on the counter upturned on the disc. So let's see what else comes with your machine. This is your S chopping blade. It's stainless steel, it's heavy duty. Always hold it by this hub. There's little indents in the side. Same thing, you match up the icon on the top of the chopping blade with the stem in the machine, and it slips right on, so it's really, really easy to use. You operate your dough blade in the same manner. The dough blade is meant to be used when you do pizza dough, any type of yeast-based dough. If you're using less than 3 cups of flour when you're doing, like, say, pie dough, you would use your S chopping blade instead. So let's see what else comes with it. Here's our spatula. That comes with it. The thing I like about this is it has a nice flat side here. That makes it really, really easy to scrape down the sides of the bowl when you're working. And lastly, I don't have it in front of me here, but it comes with a DVD that gives you all the information you would ever need to understand how to get the most out of your food processor. So make sure you watch that DVD. So what we're going to do now is I'm actually going to show you how efficient this machine is at making a really quick gazpacho. First, we're going to use our chopping blade. Just slip that right in. And I'm going to put the lid on. It's really easy to get on and off. And what I'm going to do is, you heard me mention earlier that you could take this out and you could use it to obviously slice and shred small foods. But what I'm going to do is this is going to allow me to turn the machine on drop the garlic in, and you're going to see how efficient it is. You see how efficient that was at chopping garlic? It can do anything from a small clove of garlic, believe it or not, all the way up to really heavy doughs. So what we're going to do next is put in the jalapeno and the scallions. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop it up coarsely. Put the lid back on. Use the pulse button, especially if you're just starting to getting used to using a food processor. So that's perfect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add some more ingredients. Here we have our bell peppers, our cucumber, and next our parsley. Now what we're going to do is we're going to continue by pulsing. And we're going to do this until the cucumbers are nice and chopped up coarsely. There we go. So now I'm going to remove the lid, add the next couple of ingredients. We have our tomatoes. This is a great way also to use up lots of extra vegetables that you may have in your home refrigerator. The salt, the pepper. Next we have our lime juice. Just going to make it nice and fresh and refreshing. And just for a little bit of kick, a little bit of hot sauce. Use your discretion when using the hot sauce. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put the lid back on, and we're almost finished. When you're doing this recipe, you can make the vegetables as fine, as coarse, or as coarse as you prefer. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dump the vegetables right into the bowl. And I'm going to just use my spatula to scrape out the excess. There's a little trick, and I had it in my left hand so I didn't do it, is if you stick your finger in the bottom of the bowl like so, you can actually hold the blade in place while you're getting your ingredients out. So there we go. Now the last step for this recipe is to just mix this up a little bit so you can see it's nice and coarse. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the low sodium tomato juice right to the bowl. And then I'm just going to mix it up really quick. And this is really nice because it has nice texture. It'll have really nice fresh taste. It's a great way to eat lots of vegetables. It's very tasty, and not only that, it's really, really healthy for you. But just remember, there's so many things that you can use your food processor for. Cookies, cakes, brownies. You can chop meat to make your own meatloaf or even meatballs, and you can even make doughs like pizza dough, pie dough, and even any type of bread that you like. Go ahead and get a food processor. You'll be amazed at what you can do with it.